Hi.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very unconventional episode of the Nordic Sound Channel. We have a very special guest with us here today. A very camera-shy Mrs. Nordic Sound Channel.
What?
This is Alyssa, my lovely wife and best friend, and co-caretaker of our little boy Cricket here. Alyssa, last week, got the chance to see WARDRUNA live for the first time, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Quite the experience. The Paramount Theater in Denver.
Yeah.
Right. The whole block smelled like what when we got there?
Piss.
Piss, yeah. If you ever go to Denver, just be used to just smelling stale urine everywhere you go. But luckily, it doesn't smell like that inside the venue. No, it does not. The Paramount's a very nice spot. So, Alyssa, let's tell people, what do you do?
I bake.
You bake.
Yeah.
Alyssa is
I bake pastries, not.
Oh, I think
others.
Cricket actually wants his turn to talk. Cricket, what do you do?
I like to chirp all day and
You just want to talk over me,
eat
right?
apples. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so Alyssa is a pastry chef at a really ritzy bakery here in in Boulder, Colorado. Alyssa, how many pies are you making for the holiday season?
Like 900, I think.
Almost 1,000. How much do you love just being elbow deep in pumpkin pie filling all day?
It makes me not want pumpkin pie for a while.
It's like when you made all that pulled pork at that restaurant in Fiddleheads, and what was it? No, beef brisket, or was it
that
pulled
was
pork?
Fiddleheads. That was
Yeah,
beef.
you wouldn't have barbecue with me for like a year.
Yeah.
So it's like the same deal. So yes,
much
that's
of a
what.
good thing.
So this is the one day Alyssa and I have off together, and she's going to spend a little bit of it talking about her experience seeing WARDRUNA for the first time after I spent a whole year hyping it up to her. So all right, so we went into Denver to the Paramount, and when we got there and when we saw the show, is it what you were expecting? Like, what were you expecting versus what actually happened?
I've never been to the Paramount, and every show I've been with you has always been one where you kind of stand in a crowd.
Right, and so
So-
this one was different because...
It reminded me of sitting down for an orchestra, essentially.
Right, yeah, so the weird thing, this is for anyone who's only seen them at Midgardsplit or outdoor festivals, is at the Paramount, we had to sit down like we were watching a performance. Like an actual concert performance, right? Yeah, we were, right? And so that right there was different than what you expected. Were you expecting to just stand around like all the Midgardsplit videos you saw?
Or just any metal show I've been to.
Oh,
You know,
or
it's
yeah,
not metal,
or
it's not
like...
a metal concert, but still,
well, it's
like,
metal adjacent. I see...
I don't know, when you see the line wrapping around the block with everyone in costume, usually, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I love the lines to these sorts of shows because you'll alternate between... You'll get your turn, buddy.
You can stay here.
I'm not removing him. I would never remove him from his throne. So you alternate between like people like fully decked out, like cosplaying, right?
Yeah.
They just have like some dude in like a business shirt standing there in line on his phone.
Or me in a sweater.
Or like you in a sweater, right? You and your cottagecore vibes, right?
Alright.
So did you feel as out of place as you thought you would? I remember when we were going, you were like, well, I'm not wearing black, I'm not covered in face paint or whatever.
It was quite the mix.
Yep.
Between like, and this is no offense to anybody, but like, you know, from your average Starbucks goer to like old couples,
Yeah.
you know, to people decked out in full like face paint and feathers.
Yeah, yeah.
And furs, yeah.
So how about the music? How well do you think that because, you know, you've only really ever listened to them on, you know, vinyl here or on, you know, Spotify or something like that. How well did the music translate to a live setting?
It
Did you feel like
translated really well.
Yeah. Did you feel like it added? Like, do you think it was something extra?
To be in a live setting. I mean, first off, like they've got their performance down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. If anything, they're experienced.
Uh,
I think Cricket wants to give his opinion. What do you think about Honor Selvig live?
I was mad that you guys were like gone for like 5 hours.
He was probably just pissed because we were gone for like 7 hours, 8 hours.
Sorry, what was the question?
No, so like you know, one of the problems of like acoustic music is sometimes it doesn't translate live that well, right? So
I mean,
sometimes, especially when you're playing like a large scale performance.
I was kind of interested to see like what the instruments they were using. Like obviously the horns would make quite the sound.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah, dude. Hearing those lures live for the first time,
like,
that's crazy.
like-
When Einar and Eilif set up to play Tyr,
yeah,
they
that
were
was
both next to each
that was-
other.
That was dope.
Yeah.
But like having acoustic instruments like the tall harpa and stuff like that don't project as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they made it work. I'm assuming they like amped or linked it up somehow, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's gonna be a little mic probably halfway down the vocalist stand or somewhere near there, or they
Yeah.
probably have one of those little mics hooked up like right on it.
Yeah, so
where, like,
they
amp
made
would
like
go.
an acoustic version that you'd expect not to work in such a large setting. They made it work. Somehow.
They made it work. Hell yeah.
No, but it was nice to be. Oddly enough, it was actually nice to be seated. No, like not in a comfort sense. I mean, like, but because like you had to stay in your spot, you had nothing else to do but to just kind of immerse yourself in the sounds that you were listening to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
You're
see.
ready.
He's fine. So you were kind of getting lost in your own thoughts and how your mind was translating the music. That sounds kind of corny, but
Oh no, it doesn't sound corny at all. I was actually I didn't even think about that because usually when you're absorbing, we're very different when we listen to music, right?
yes,
I'm moving around, I'm getting into it, and
I move inward.
you move inward and you just sit there like some reflective marble statue of a time gone by. And I was like, wait, do you like this or not? And you're just like, shut up. So yeah, I actually didn't think about that this, you probably felt more comfortable sitting down because that's like how you're used to listening to music.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, like it kind of makes you focus instead of like dancing or trying to keep time with the music or whatever. You're kind of more, I think, immersed into what they're trying to convey. I don't know, like I'm not a musicologist.
You don't need to be a musicologist to talk about music. You really don't. Sometimes musicologists are the worst ones at talking about music. So you were happy about being seated.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the fine folks in back who were not happy with everyone being seated?
You mean in the right midsection? No, they weren't too thrilled. I mean, like, they probably went into it thinking it was something different, and they wanted to express, or they wanted to listen to the music in the way that they felt was appropriate, which was to get around and dance, which is fine. Like, I get it, but unfortunately the setting didn't allow for that.
Yeah, but it was also... So for those of you who've only seen WARDRUNA at Midgard's Bloat, or in any other live setting, you're used to moving with the music, letting it sort of like enter you, and you sort of go into this
Trance.
I don't know, I'll say this for Patrick, this liminal space that's there, and to some people that's the only way to listen to music like WARDRUNA's. And so there was a group of people in the Paramount who were very unhappy that everyone was sitting down. First they were all standing up dancing at their seat, so like in front of people who were sitting down.
They weren't spatially aware.
They were not spatially aware. And I knew it was only a matter of time before someone yells, "Sit the fuck down!" Which did they?
Someone did, yeah.
Oh, did someone said?
Right before the next set, yeah, like...
Oh, are you talking about the person who shouted? I'm talking
Yeah.
about the dancers did not sit down.
Oh, no.
No, okay, cool.
No, sorry.
I thought we were remembering two different scenarios.
No.
Yeah, so then the dancers, the people who really wanted to dance, instead of maybe sitting down because it's what everyone else was doing, they instead started to dance up and down the aisles and flipping people off. They were not happy being asked to sit down, but eventually they came to an agreement where they could dance.
They came to an
off to
agreement
the
with
side.
the people that worked.
Yeah, with the
building,
bouncer.
that they would dance to the side, or they wouldn't be an issue or a safety hazard.
Yeah, and so the reason I wanted to bring that up wasn't to use whoever they were as sort of like a punchline, right? Because instead it like highlights a difference in how people listen to music or experience it, right? Especially live. It would have been even more interesting maybe if there were more people trying to stand up.
Yeah.
But I think it made it funnier that these were the only people in the whole auditorium that were standing up at their seat.
Yeah.
So I actually would have been more interested to see how the dynamic of the room would have changed if more people were trying to stand up and dance.
And I've seen people dance at different concerts, like bluegrass concerts, or
oh yeah, they go down into the
for
pit.
example. Like they go into the aisles and they dance, and usually that's not an issue, but I guess it was an issue this time for people. I don't know.
Yeah, people get really invested when they finally get to see Vardruna live, and then they have some person's butt in their face while they dance around. So yeah, it's just so that was pretty interesting. It was overall it was a really great concert. Did you have a favorite tune? I know sometimes we forget what the names of each tune are, but did you have if you want to visually describe to me what your favorite moment was or something like that?
It was I can't remember how he described it. Let's see. I liked the set the PC did when it was just him playing the lyre.
Oh, the encore where he played the lyre by himself. Yeah, that was Fousfau.
I tend to like those settings because it does make you feel like you're having a skull sing to you with that.
Yeah,
sense.
hell yeah. I really love that too. That was a really great way to end it.
It's kind of it's just interesting because it feels very intimate. It feels very yeah, I don't know.
No, it does. It feels intimate, more connected because you sort of strip down the theatrics of seeing a band live.
Yeah.
And instead it's just Einar Selvik, a lyre, and his voice. And how many people do you think were in that auditorium?
I don't know.
No, I can't even guess. I'm horrible at guessing how many people were in an area.
It was pretty packed.
Hundreds, right? That thing was packed wall to wall. So that was a pretty special way to end the concert, especially because that was technically the second encore. But then, if you want to talk about Einar's speech he gave, which was pretty powerful about cultural pissing contests. I just want to say before we wrap up that the highlight of the show for me was pretty much what I go on all the time about on this channel, where Einar is well aware that working in the sort of cultural sphere, you can attract the wrong kind of people by accident. Mm-hmm. Like white supremacists, neo-Nazis, people who get engaged in those cultural pissing contests. Yeah. To see, my culture's better than your culture, or mine's more important, or mine's older, therefore it's better. And I really love that Einar is not subtle about it. He takes the stance, and he just gave the speech to, a room full of Denverites about how Vardruna doesn't try to be Vikings, right? They're not trying to be any of that. Instead, they're trying to make something new with something old. And some of that comes from, a lot of that to them comes from old Nordic culture, but he wanted to make a strong stance, especially in the current climate in America.
Because, I think that a lot of their music, especially in the States, became pretty popular because of the show Vikings.
Oh yeah, Helvegen? I'm pretty sure season 1 of Vikings ended with Helvegen.
I mean, I didn't watch Vikings in its entirety. I only watched the first 2 seasons, but that music, that's where I was introduced to Wardruna.
Yep.
But I've also met people who definitely lean in the direction that I don't want to ever associate.
Yeah, a lot of people hear Vardruna and they're like, yeah, white power, brother.
Yeah,
it's really not great.
It's unfortunate. Because I don't think their music is meant for that at all.
No, not at all. And especially the respect that all the performers in that band hold music in general with.
And I appreciate it when musicians make that stance. Because it makes me I know it sounds weird, but it makes me feel more comfortable listening to their music. Because, if they make a stance saying that I am not associating or trying to support something that is really kind of shitty. Yeah,
he was making sure there was no gray area, right?
Which,
and that's what I'm finding a lot of the musicians in this sphere are starting to do a lot more of.
Which I appreciate because, I love the music, but at the same time, I struggle sometimes with bands that have not made a stance.
That happens a little too often, yeah.
And I find myself very uncomfortable listening to the music because I'm like, well, wait, what are they?
What am I endorsing here?
Well, yeah, kind of. It sucks because it could take music that I really enjoy and kind of make it less tasteful to me.
Yep, people wrestle with that shit all the time.
Yeah,
look at Wagner, right? Wagner's music is 200 years old. The dude was clearly a Nazi, or he was clearly a proto-Nazi, a very anti-Semitic. Would be the better way to put it.
Of a douche.
And even people today are still like, should I like the Ring Cycle?
Yeah, the music. It sucks because the music is great, but at the same time you're like, eh.
It's just like Woody Allen said in that movie. I can't listen to too much Wagner. It makes me want to invade Poland.
Yeah.
And then Woody Allen himself is a good example of I want to watch his movies, but he's a little bit of a weird guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just I liked that Heilung does it at their concerts, Vardruna did it at their concerts, and from my time of talking to a lot of Nordic musicians, sort of just taking a stance at hey, if you want to participate in that cultural pissing contest, this is not the space for you.
Yeah.
This is the space for like an appreciation of history and of music.
Which makes you want to engage in the culture more because you feel like you'd be more accepted.
Yeah, and you know that audience was pretty multicultural.
Yeah.
So I can guarantee that speech made a lot more people
I
feel
kind of like
comfortable
seeing
going.
the weird diversity going on. Like,
The weird diversity
also,
is the best way to put it.
Also, like that's not in a bad way.
No,
It's
not at
more
all.
like the age differences you were saying. Like I'm talking like the cute, adorable old couples that you think eat ginger snaps all day, and then like you had these young 20-somethings. Sometimes older, like covered in piercings, face paint, like the full costume. People like me who don't like to be noticed,
I just want to wear my flannel and blend into the corner.
yeah, but like you had quite the array of people, and then you even had like people I would see like never expect to listen to this, like the typical Colorado, like, oh, I'm gonna wear my knee-high boots and my fedora hat.
Oh yeah, there was a dude there. He was really a conversation starter. The guy who was wearing a kilt, a Mjolnir, and a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Yeah, it was like that's quite a
Quite
collage.
the
That's a collage. Yes, it definitely.
To each their own, like if that's
no judgment. We're using that to illustrate the fact that like
you get quite the eclectic mix.
These audiences are not monotone in
No.
any way. Very eclectic, which is why I like going.
Yeah.
And then you had the little kids who were up front. You were absolutely loving it. Like, you could tell these kids, maybe one of them for their birthday, got a present, like, almost front row. They were right behind Matthias. They were in the front row, like, absolutely loving it. And they even got to take a picture with the band and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a really cool experience. And then we were lucky enough, the people of WARDRUNA were so kind as to let us go up and hang out with them afterwards, which was really awesome. I really loved getting to know everyone in the band a lot better. I wish we could have stayed longer, but you had to work 5 hours after we left, right? There's about.
Yeah, like that,
So we
4 hours sleep.
and me, the idiot, parked like a 30-minute walk away from the Paramount.
I mean, it was definitely worth it. Like,
No, yeah, but it was really cool getting to know, like, getting to talk to Jan, the Nyckelharpa player, a lot more. Getting to finally meet and talk to Eilif, the horn player.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, no, he was a
Nice.
great guy. And of course, Lindy Faye and Einar. It was great to meet you guys too. If you watch this or listen to this, yeah, that was a good time. And then we also got to hang out with Matthias and Erica.
Yeah.
Always a good time. So, would you go see them again?
Well, yeah.
Hell yeah! As a matter of fact, you are at Midgarthblod,
Yeah,
right?
so I get my passport.
Gotta get that passport. I'm not smuggling you into Norway. I wouldn't want to get put in one of those Actually, I would want to get put in a Norwegian prison.
What?
Yeah, very cushy, I hear.
What?
Yeah, I'll smuggle you so I get put into prison, then you can
Okay.
enjoy the festival.
Alright. It's getting a little weird.
All right, well, Alyssa, thank you for making your debut appearance on the Nordic Sound Channel. How's it feel? You're no longer an enigma.
I feel awkward.
Yeah, it goes away. Everyone feels awkward their first time in videos, but
Okay.
you're fine. We used to do a birding podcast together, and she was fine with that.
Talk about birds. I know more about birds than music.
That's true. And then also, I never made you sit in front of the camera.
No.
That was a podcast only. But anyway, you're a trooper. Thanks for joining the channel,
Okay.
Sarah. All right, cool. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. I hope you found something of value out of this. Really, this was just to make up for the lack of a proper video this week, since I'm not ankle deep. That's not very deep. I'm like waist deep in final stuff. Yeah, so I wrangled you up. You'd be like, Alyssa, help me make content.
You serenaded me with coffee and breakfast.
Yeah, buttered you up.
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, great weekend, and look forward to seeing you all later. All right? Peace.